what's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scotty Upshall in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
The lads.
Updogg, fella, curfew calls continue here, baby.
Summertime.
There's nothing better than summertime, is there?
Fellas, I think you're looking forward to getting back home on the lake. Huh?
I got the lake dialed in, bro. I'll be up in the Muskokas again for 10 days. I feel like I'm one of the rich people up there. And I got a cottage this year that no stairs. The last couple cottages, Pitter said, hey, fuck, what are you trying to kill me? Too many stairs. I said, okay.
Now, what's the process of you finding a cottage up in the Muskokas? Like if I'm just a normal dude and I'm like, hey, I hear the Muskokas is a nice time.
Yeah.
I know it's a big lake.
Big fucking fish, big ice.
Big fucking ice. But where you find a little local spot that you got,
Well, yeah, so
are you on the water?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Come on, fella, NHL. So the lakes that I grew up kind of going to or was around me in the Peterborough area are called the Kawartha Lakes. The Kawartha Lakes. Now, the Kawartha Lakes are beautiful. Now, I should have bought a place. Fucking Rob Hooper wouldn't let me buy a place back in the day. If I would have bought a cottage on Kawartha Lake back when we were playing, I probably could have got it for $1 million, and now it would be worth $3 or $4 million. You can't get on Kawartha Lakes for anything nice for less than 3 bananas now. And then you go to Muskoka Lakes, which is north of Toronto, where the big boys are, where Beebs has a place, and Tavares and Martin and all those boys. It's the nicest lake. It's where you want to be.
Yeah.
I can't even.
That's for all the pussies.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Good bars.
The Kitabala. Yeah.
What's the bar with the big tree in the middle of it, where they play tunes at?
The Kitabala. Church the Hip used to play there back in the day. The place I'm renting is literally, you could drive the boat there. You wouldn't want unless you're like a local.
Yeah,
right?
In case you get pulled over.
Well, you don't know, Rocks and shit.
You're
pinned. You're like, fuck.
You don't want to fuck with if that propeller gets in one, you're done.
I broke my
one rock.
I broke my propeller last year, so I rented a place in Stony Lake.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kyle Campbell. Corey Perry has a place on Stony Lake. It gets his name Stony Lake because there's stones, right? And I get my boat or whatever. I get a lemon of a boat. Fucking this place I rented from. It's just a lemon boat, Updogg. So whatever, I'm getting the lay of the land. They're like, stay here. So me and Pitter go, let's go for a rip and go try to look at the Wildfire golf course, right? And I thought I was far enough out still, and I'm going pretty good. And all of a sudden, bam.
Ooh. No. Fuck, what did Pitter say to you?
Pitter, you dumb fucking. I go, oh, Pitter, we're fucked. So then I got to call luckily I was close enough to the marina that I had to call the guy again. I had to call him 2 days earlier because my starter wouldn't start. He had to come to my house to start it for me. Then I called him. I said, what was his name? He was a beauty. I don't know. Let's call him Butch or something. Butch, fuck, it's Obes again. I go, I'm out in the middle of the lake. I broke my propeller. Can you come and get me? So they had to come and get me, tow me back in, put a new propeller on, and out I went.
Those things aren't cheap.
No, it was like fucking $400.
So is this like, it's your pastime? Is your pastime like water sports, like getting out on the lake? Like when I look back, my Uncle John, who's a beauty, used to live on a little lake outside Fort Mac. Me and my brother would go out there. And my brother more than me, but like water skiing. Like he became a sick water skier when he was young. And then, I missed the wakeboarding days. But man, when I, moved to Kelowna as a pro, I was 21, 22, sick little pad, me and Toots, side by side. I started wake surfing. And then like that to me was like the life. And then I came down here and met you two hooligans, you and Loops, and seeing the life that we now live and did live back in the day here. And then I'm like, you know what? I like golfing more. The lake life is great, but like it just wasn't, I didn't quite have my golf game.
Updogg, same thing for me, dude. I get it for you. You're a scratch golfer. I was a terrible golfer back then, but I loved being on the golf course. And then for me, it was like the lake life was great, but then you come down here and when you're a single guy, there's so much more going on down here, right? Like being on the lake's unbelievable, especially now, 40 years old. I get on that lake for 10 days. I don't want to leave. But when I was younger, I was like, do I want to be on the lake all summer? Now, Kelowna is a different animal because there's a town there and stuff. Yeah. But even the Muskokas and definitely the Kawarthas, there's not a whole lot going on. Like you could zip into Peterborough if you wanted to, which is a town of probably 100,000 people where I lived for a little bit with Fozzie. But then Muskoka is like, it's like, where are you going to go? Barrie, maybe? You're not going to go. If you're going to Toronto, you got to go in and get a hotel room and, text Travis and say, I'm coming in for the weekend. So to me, I was like, I don't want to be on the lake and not be chasing fucking broads.
It is funny though. You look back and like, I always wanted to have a place in the lake.
Yeah, I still do.
I know, and it's amazing. But you're like in Canada, that is like, you made it. If you get like, your local like, summer spot where, in Alberta for you beauties up there, it's like Red Deer. It's the old taint.
Sylvan Lake.
It's like, Sylvan Lake, the old taint, right in between fucking Edmonton and Calgary on Highway 2. Sylvan Lake. Beautiful lake. Loops and his old man. Fucking sure Krager still lives there. But if you look back, my buddy Jesse's got a place there. Chris Phillips had a place there. The Vandermeer brothers are from there. But you just look back.
Crazy bastards.
Crazy bastards. You just look back and that was like, wow. Spending weekends and Canada Day and August long weekend. We call them August long weekends in Canada.
Yeah, August long.
Yeah. There was nothing better than like campfire, drinking tunes on patio, or drinking beers, live out blue lights, and listen to tunes, Tragically Hip on the patio.
Oh,
but then you come to Cali, and it's just a whole other different life. Or you go up to, Miami or Montauk or these places in the Hamptons, and it's more ocean, beach, like, or, you get the Jersey Shore, for example.
Did you love the Hamptons? I love Nantucket. But the Hamptons, when we used to go there, I still never thought it was, there was tons of trim, and the surf lodge was slammed. But other than that, it's like you got to drive everywhere. Yeah. I didn't love it.
So I'll tell you what there is to love about the Hamptons now is the network for golf. The golf in fucking Long Island is some of the best. It's like Ireland. It's some of the oldest, most sought after old clubs, great memberships. They're perfect golf clubs. You leave Friar's Head, Shinnecock, National, Maidstone.
We still owe loops around
Hampton.
We still oe loops around at the National. So boys, we're in the Hamptons with our boy Jimbo, and Loops has a bad back. He's like fucking backs in one, boys. I'm not going out tonight. Like, I'm not going out, but I'm getting up to do yoga. Like, we got a pretty early tea time, right? Ups, like, what time? We're leaving there like
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Party the road by 7:15 because it's an hour and 20-minute drive.
Party keeps going. I look at Upshall at about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I said, I ain't fucking golfing. And he said, me either. I said, let's keep this cranking. And then we had chicks in. Lupul, we're still rocking. Lupul shows up and looks at us and goes, when are we leaving? We go, we're not golfing. He goes, fuck you, boys. What? You fucking pricks. And went back to bed. Up he goes, I'll get you back on National. It's easy to get you back on there. Don't worry about Loops. Like, top 10 in the country. Hey, boys, you're going to stay up all night and we're not going to go golfing. We're like, we're not going golfing, Loops. We haven't been to bed yet, man. It was like, I'm looking at his face. It was just pure fucking sad,
disappointed. Yeah.
But yeah, lots of good golf.
Oh, the
Shinnecock.
Nasty. The weather's pretty good, and shout out to my boy Shady.
The weather's pretty good.
The weather's good. It's like it's not like super muggy and fucking. It's gonna rain and stuff. But so Shady, the sick pad in the Hamptons, it was a great location, and I was just, I had the kids there. It was actually just Izzy at the time. We brought our nanny. Christina was doing all her things with her girls, and I'm just like taking his sick Chevy Blazer to fucking these golf courses and playing golf and like hanging out with fucking good guys on the East Coast, all good golfers. Yeah. And these courses are just, you felt like you needed to go to another world to play these golf courses. Like California, it's like you go up to Pebble, okay? Or you're in the circuit of LACC, Riv, Sherwood, and that, like up to that part, right? So I'm just like, this is great. I could fucking do this. And you don't get caught in like Montauk. Montauk, for those of you who don't know, is on the tip of the Hampton. It's where all the models go, and it's the weekends are just crazy.
You're almost in Newfoundland.
But in order to go to a bar, there's, you need to know someone to get in. You need to set up dinner reservations before. You better have Mac L handy. And it's just like house party to house party, but it's a trek. You're right. You got to drive, so you usually
unless you jump in the old blade chopper, which I don't like. Choppers scare me, but the drive out there is long.
Oh, it's long.
I got so lucky there, man. A couple of years ago, this is years ago now. I was taking a piss, and this cop flashlight right on me. I'm thinking, what in the fuck is Luckily, I'm like, sorry, sir. I'm just, he's like, yeah, I'm like, wow, that could have been real bad. Like even like weed on me or something like that, right? I had nothing on me.
What about, just a question, but we're in the U.S., Because we've been everywhere. But where in the U.S. have you not been that you hear is great, and maybe for more reasons than just partying or whatever? Like, have you been
Charleston, South Carolina.
Have you been to South Carolina?
Charleston, South Carolina. Fella tour, let's go. Shout out to Graham Pierce and your boy Justin Pierce. Their brother, Graham's twin brother, lives there and is a member at a golf course there.
Oh,
Dennis Shannon's son, Carter, just graduated from Charleston, South Carolina. Let's go.
They got a East Coast League team there, too, right?
Yeah, Gills used to play for the old Stingrays or whatever they're called.
So that has golf, that has culture, that has like good beach, that has the whole thing. Chicks.
I guess it's like 4-1 girls to guys. Like we should have went there when we were young. When we were seeing the bowls.
It was a waste now.
But I will say this about that, like when you came and lived in California and then you went to like our beaches out here are so much better, right? Like that. When I went to the Hamptons, I'm like, this beach is kind of greasy. It's kind of stinky. You know, it's like where in Cali, it's like this, you go down to Emerald Bay, it's like, fella, come on in. You know?
Well,
here's some sunscreen for you.
That's top. It's creme de la creme.
I know, but so would the Hamptons be for the East Coast, right?
Yeah, big time.
But I love Nantucket, man. I love Nantucket. I love
great.
Shout out to Crew. The lobster roll there is unbelievable.
Sure is.
They toast the bun. The lobster's warmed up and they drizzle it on top. But I love that little bar, the Carousel bar right in the middle. You can walk everywhere in Nantucket. Like if I had, you know, if I scored a few more goals, I would have a place in there.
That's why our boy Todd Pickup has a pad out there.
He does. He loves Nantucket.
Loves it.
Loves Nantucket.
That's his like vacation home. He leaves Newport Beach, flies across the country, spends 2 weeks in Nantucket.
It's nice when you got your own bird.
Totally. You gotta have
your bird. I remember first time I was going to Nantucket, Big Sexy was, so I get there, I go from Toronto to Logan, and I've been up all night in Toronto with fucking Travis, whoever, and I'm hurting. I get to Logan, and I'm going to Cape Air, and the guy's like, how much does your bag weigh? I'm like, fuck if I know. How much do you weigh? How much does your left shoelace weigh? I'm like, how big's this bird? He goes, how big's this bird? He's like, she's an 8-seater and she's tight. I'm like, holy fuck. I get in this little Cape Air and this thing it's not even moving. And I don't know one person on the bird up yet. I am just full on party sweats. I mean, it is coming out of me. And I'm texting Big Sexy before I take off. I'm like, what is with this plane? He's like, don't worry, Obes. We only dunk about 3 or 4 every summer in the ocean. You'll be all right. I was like, are you kidding me? Get me off of this thing. Like I was literally like, this is a little tin can. So besides that aspect, I wasn't too thrilled with that. But once I got there, I loved it.
Yeah, totally. And there's a great golf course there called a great public course.
It's called Nantucket Country Club, isn't it? Did we play
that one? And then there's
we played. It was foggy. Remember?
No, it is. It's called a different. It's not Nantucket Country Club.
That's where I played.
No, remember it was foggy. Yeah,
foggy as fuck.
It was, but it's not the Nantucket Country Club. It was something different.
I love Nantucket. Mackel, get the boys out there. Steve McLaughlin, come on, fella, get the boys out there. Last but not least, before we move into our first curfew call, you're talking about the lake back in the day, but Brad Richardson had this at his little cottage, and Mike Smith out on Oak Lake, outside of Belleville, Oak Lake, and it was just close enough to Belleville that you could hang out in the lake all day. You could zip into Belleville, go to Little Tees, grab them, and bring them back, and then you spend the whole next day on the lake, which was a nice touch. That was nice. Small lake though, like really tiny lake, but Richardson had a good little pad there. It was fun. It was fun. So, Morgan, Kyle, let's go for our first curfew call.
Fellas, hope the boys are doing all right. Hey, Oaks, me and the boys just finished up our first round of the year over at the old Port Hope Golf and Country Club. You should see the bridge they got set up to navigate the boys around there now over the train tracks. But anyways, the back 9, they now got this spooky fucking subdivision on the left-hand side. And for some of us with a little slicey action, could get a little nerve-wracking. You boys got any golf course stories where maybe you or one of the fellas might have had a little errant golf ball? I know you guys have been out to a lot of nice tracks, a lot of expensive homes, statute of limitations or whatever. Love to know a funny one, guys. All right, hey, hope everything's all well. Have a great golf season this year, boys, and R.I.P. Scoopsy.
Beauty.
Did he say his name? What do you need? Water?
Just a can of cane.
Hey, Uppy, just back to the Key to Bala. When I'm going to be there, the band Matrix is playing. They're good, right?
I never heard of them.
Yeah, you have.
Matrix?
Isn't it Metric? No, Metric. Metric. I knew I'd fucked that up. Metric. They're good, right?
Metric is awesome.
We saw them back in the day a lot.
She's badass.
Yeah, so I'm going to go over there one night there and just get in one. How do I say it?
Metric.
Metric. Yeah. Not Matrix. Okay, Metric.
Not
Listen, Port Hope Golf and Country Club. I got the thing right there, Updogg. I brought back the yardage book. Port Hope Country.
It's nice, colonial.
At Penryn Park. So Penryn Park's a nice old, like, part of the golf course. But when I grew up there, she was 9 holes. We had the top 4, and then you went back and played the rest. And it was a fucking goater. A goater beyond goater. And my mom used to drop me off there, probably much like you at Fort McMurray Golf Course.
Yep.
In the summertime, she dropped me off at 9 in the morning, give me $10, say get a couple hot dogs in you, and pick me up at 3 o'clock. And it was home for me. But it was a goat track, and it continued to be a goat track. Well, now it's no longer a goat track. It's a really cool course right on Lake Ontario. The back 90's talking about, they have a bridge that is like literally like a roller coaster bridge. Like I didn't think the golf cart was going to make it. I was like, Pitter, get out, and give her one of those. But beautiful golf course, kind of an Ireland feel to it, Uppy. It really is nice. The greens were good, so if you have a chance to play the course, it's unbelievable. But I do have an Upshall story about golf courses. So this is back in the day. Shout out to our boy Steve Bradley. We're playing at Seacliff, it was called back in the day, right? And we're back playing at Tips or whatever, and it was a long par 5 on the back up, so it went that way. But anyways, there was a dad and her daughter playing in the fairway over to us, and if Upshall didn't hit this fucking pull hook that was going right for them, and we're yelling, "Far!" and this thing lands right in the back of their cart, remember?
Yeah,
right
through the windshield.
Right through the windshield.
Into the back like the back, like basket. And just starts going, like it was rattling around that.
If it would have fucking hit them, good God, it would have killed them. So we drive up, we're like, oh, sorry, like, they're like, that ball just went right through our windshield and landed in the back of our cart and spun. We're like,
oh, I know.
Could you imagine if you would have fucking hit him?
It's so, wow, a buddy of mine, Riley St. Peter, who we lost years ago, is one of my good golfing buddies, one of my best buddies growing up. We're in Scottsdale, and we're playing True North, and he's a righty, I'm a lefty. They were playing another dogleg left like you, and he hooks one, and as he hits it, this cart girl is on the cart path, and she's coming around, and just as the ball is like within 50 feet of her, we see her pull around in her cart. She had just huge titties, and she was like good-looking girl. And I was originally like, oh, there she is, finally. You know, we were thirsty again. And this ball was going right at her, and we yell forward just in time. Shatters her whole windshield, just goes, and we get up there, and her hands are lockjawed onto the steering wheel, and she's just staring like a deer in headlights at the. And we come up, and we all felt completely terrible. And we get up there, and she's just sitting there, and I'm like, you know, okay, couple things, but are you going to be okay?
Are you okay?
The windshield was just shattered. And then 2, like, can we have a shot? Do you have any blue lights in there? Like, we need some beers.
Yeah. We need more
for a girl, man. Spooked her.
Cart girls, though. You think about cart girls. If you were to go back in the day to, I was just mentioning Richardson there. There was 2 great golf courses in Belleville. And I've told you this, but I used to drive to Belleville every day to work out with Richardson and our boy Jason Saprika. And then I'd spend the whole day there. We'd skate at night. I would either stay at Richards or go home. So we were always playing golf during the day to kill some time, right? There was 2 golf courses, Trillium Woods and Black Bear. Black Bear was a new one that was just tits. But Trillium Woods had the fucking best cart girls in the league.
Wow.
In the league. So Richardson would be like, where do you want to play tomorrow? I'm like, I kind of want to play Black Bear, but let's go play Trillium and see if What's Your Nuts is working, you know, because you want to lay the groundwork because we're going to be going to little tees later in the week. But Trillium Woods had the best cart girl staff in all of Southeast Ontario. It was unbelievable.
Were you at the bad Mosquito? Or were you like 20?
No, I was playing, from the age of probably
16,
17, 18 to 20 till I moved out here. 20.
So when we grew up, when I started working for Mac Golf Club, we had all the best looking girls in the city work as our cart girls. It was just the thing. And then it would be the place to hang out. They'd make all the money. Like a girl would go on a rotation and probably make $300-400 every 2 hours. Like you think of every group coming by tipping $20, $25, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Oil Town in Fort Mac, guys are making
guys are there and holding it.
Yeah. They're loving it. And
Great
to mention, it's light out till like 11, right? So guys would be out getting pinned till you start men's night, you tee off at 7 p.m. Guys,
11. So the cart girl, you could just wait for her shift to be over. Like, jump in, babe. We're going to
a long time. Yeah.
11.
Go get last call.
Then you can bring her right. What time is last call for Mac? 2. So yeah, she gets done at 11, hop in with the lads. We're going to, what was your bar there called? I'm right.
Cowboys.
Was it Cowboys there too?
Sure called Cowboys, yeah.
Wasn't there another bar?
Patty McSwiggins.
That's the one. Patty
That's in Thickwood, and then I mean, I lived on
Where the fuck is
I grew up
Thickwood?
on Woodland Drive in Thickwood.
Thickwood.
Yeah.
Have you yet? When are you going to take your kids up to Fort Mac? When they get a little bit older?
Sometimes. I don't. You need to go to Newfoundland instead. You know?
No, I know, but they need to see where you came from.
I know. So
Especially Beckham. Maybe not Izzy, but Beckham.
when they're
see where you
when they're of age.
You should say, Beckham, hey, you're going to go work the rigs for 6 days. All right, I'll wait for you here, kid. I'll wait for you here.
No. What would be cool is to put them out on the ice back at like Beacon Hill Arena.
Yeah. They got to see where you... And you should take them there. If they start getting... Oh, they're great kids. But if they start getting older and you're like giving you a hard time, you'll be like, oh, yeah, you think life's tough? Let's go. We're going to Fort McMurray in February.
Yeah.
This is where Dad grew up.
Totally.
So, hey,
I'll always
cut
have
your
that.
dad some slack.
Listen, love my hometown. I'll always have that in my back pocket. You know, humbling experience.
Coldest I've ever felt, bro. That in Finland.
Yeah.
Walked to the rink in Finland one morning. I was like literally a football field away. My ball sack was frozen stiff. I'm like, but coming off that bird in Fort Mac, I'm like, this is cold, man. I text Luke
It's
from
black at like 4 p.m. Not perfect.
but made you who you were,
Yeah, totally.
right? It made you tough. Savage. Made you tough. I got another story about golf. Remember, I don't know if you were playing this round. I think you were there at Shady when Steeler had his driver. And I was on number 3, and I'm like, Steeler, let me try that driver. I'm like, God, that's sexy looking driver there. Eh? Let me try that. I can take top player in the ground. Boom. Dummy mark, top it straight up, comes back down. I'm like, oh, fuck, Steeler, my bad. I'm like, this isn't your gamer though, right? Like, this is just, she's like, no, that's the one I'm using on tour next week. He said he forgot about it. Then he got to the range the next week and looked down. He's like, fucking Obie. I put a dummy mark on his driver that he was using on the PGA Tour. I said, what'd you do? He said, I guess he put a little whiteout on it or something.
Yeah, just should have put like a sticker, like a
donut there or something. Eh? Like, hey, meathead.
little abs.
Just a meatball.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that though. Dummy mark, boop, straight up, straight down. Brutal. Any other golf stories you can think of here or what? Got to be a few more we can think of, surely. But
I put one through the guy's windshield at Big Canyon the one time out on MacArthur.
did you?
Yeah.
Remember,
I heard about that.
remember Steve Bradley hooked one on 8 down that one guy's house. They found his ball. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm playing a Titleist. I'm like, Brad, that's your ball. He's like, bro, that was totally my ball, bro. That's totally my ball. I'll never forget when Loops Halsell rocketed one off 7 at Big Canyon 2. It's a par 3, fellas. Plays about, I can play anywhere from probably 165 to 185, 190. And he almost hit that. He hit the house that is literally
20 yards away.
20. Yeah, not even
Dead right.
dead right. Hit the railing, kicked it back.
We all have friends like Loophole, the guy that shows up, most athletic guy you know shows up and just can hosel him like the best of them. Like, how do you shoot the ball like that?
Loops needs to, and it's just like Loops' lifestyle is like he's never going to get good at golf if the way he lives his life, right? He needs to like hunker down somewhere for a little bit and find a shot that when things aren't going, like when Loops is when he's striping it, when he's got a good buzz going and he lets the hands going like as athletic as you said, he can hit it as far as you almost, and he hits pretty good shots. It's when he's leaking oil, he has no like, okay, let me just hit this little poofer out here that's going to be in the fairway. It's like snap hook. Like he doesn't have that under the gun kind of shot that he needs to find.
No, I agree.
Especially if you're going to play in a member guest with him. Eh?
I think we're over that.
Eric Laube and him are playing in a member guest together. I'm like, you're doing it
Today.
You're doing it with Loople in a Memby. You got to love his company. You got to love his company. Listen, I haven't played in a lot of member guests. I'm thinking about maybe lifting my suspension and starting to get back in them here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Because, just because I'm hitting the ball better.
You're hitting the ball better, and you probably know now. Like, I'm just not going to send it as completely hard as I should on Thursday.
I hope not.
You know?
I told Richardson I want one more crack at his member guest.
That's a great tourney, right?
Fucking almost killed me, man. I thought I was going down in the fucking Phoenix airport. No, I thought I was going down. I'm like just leaking.
Is there a lot of sandbaggers out at that tournament, or is it like pretty legit? Like we got to play like marked scores, like, or is there guys just like cheat?
No, it seemed pretty legit. And like our tons of athletes, our group, we were in because Richie's a scratch and I was 7 or 8, so we played in the championship flight. So like we were playing against Dan Marley, the old beauty, fucking Phoenix Suns, power forward.
Of course.
Tyler Loss, pitcher from the Cardinals. There's a couple other athletes I'm forgetting. So no, it was pretty. And I slashed it. And Richie didn't play great. I want another crack at that because that course is gettable.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. And the way I'm hitting the ball now, I'm like, Richie, I need one more crack at that. But you're playing Balboa, right? You're playing member guest.
I'm going to play the Balboa. I'm a defending champ, so I got to.
There's still defending champ. Yeah. There's got to have been a winner since you. That was fucking 6 years ago. There's got to be
pre-COVID, but...
Are you bringing Blano?
No, I'm bringing my buddy Jesse.
How you cut Blano?
I just give him a seat. He can't come in and win all the tournaments with your same partner.
I won't get money back. Great question, Kyle Morgan. What do we got next year?
Updogg. Tell us your most fondest memories of living down in Kamloops, and I don't know, what clubs did you speak with? Jones? That's it.
What a beauty. He's got the game in the background. He's just down in his basement smoking his bong, drinking blue lights, and just being like, you know what, boys? I'm going to call him a Missin Curfew. Updogg, Nate Dogg here. Where's your favorite place?
There was... Jeez, I was living up in Aberdeen.
What is CJ's? That's just
CJ's
bar?
Must have been just, I don't even know.
You don't even know what CJ's is?
It could be the bar downtown, but I was just there last year for Memorial Cup. I didn't go to CJ's. I don't know.
Do you remember where you went last year?
No. I went to Earl's.
Because Earl's got
There's a couple good spots downtown, but no CJ's. Jesus.
Let me pull up Kamloops. I remember pulling up Kamloops when you were going there. Yeah, it looked nice. Like, it looked like if you got to play, in the CHL, because there's some towns that aren't perfect. Look at that, though. That's a beautiful looking city, man.
Oh, it's on the water.
Wow, that's wintertime there. But yeah, right, mountains.
So listen,
British Columbia.
Things I remember about Kamloops, I had a great squad. Jared Allen, Paul Brown, fucking Derek Kostanovich, Jarrett Lukin, my boy. Listen, we had great golf. There were some great golf courses there. At the time, I'm 17, 18, 19. I wasn't going to high school. I got to do my school online. So, I kind of kiboshed that.
You didn't even have to go to class.
No.
Now, looking back, is that a good thing or a bad thing? You won
the best thing.
You won Scholastic Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Do you think that cost you any kills, though, not going to high school? Because I got some good kills in high school and junior. Or were you still just getting, it wasn't slowing you down, was it?
If you were going to school to find chicks, yeah, then it would have cost me. But yeah, I'll say this.
So you're telling me this guy had no problem. This guy had no problem getting that. This guy had no problem getting laid, even if he didn't go to high school or what?
No, listen.
Look at that fucking shot.
I attest my success I had in junior because I didn't have to go to class.
Look at your hair there. I've never seen your hair that short.
I was in a modern day, the modern day academy life is what I got to do there. So I didn't go to waste time fucking taking stupid classes. I took all the ones that I had to, and then I would go to the rink early with the old guys, and I got to participate in workouts or going out early on the ice with them, and then all the high school kids would come over. But I waited till I was 17. I didn't play junior at 16. Played in my hometown, went to high school there. But then in Kamloops, I strategically had taken all these courses in my hometown that when I left, I just had to do 2 math classes, 2 English classes, 2 history classes, and biology, and I was done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But then when I went to Kamloops, they're like, no, you got to fill up your days. You can't just come for half a day. And I'm like, well, then we got an issue here because I don't want to. I don't want to.
You don't want to be in school.
I was kind of being high maintenance, to be honest.
Well, fuck, you're gonna you're gonna be high end. I'll pick. You're like, listen,
I didn't though, but I.
Well, were you a first rounder to the Blazers?
No, I wasn't even drafted to the Blazers.
What? You never got drafted?
No.
So you're just a walk-on.
I was a walk-on. They signed me at 15. They took me at 15. Came I wasn't drafted, but at 15 they came up and watched me.
Isn't that when you should have got drafted?
14.
At 14.
And then you get a year at 15, and then 16 you come in. I think that though.
Yeah.
Me and Loops never got drafted. Medicine Hat picked him up the same way Kamloops picked me up.
No.
All of a sudden, they're like, fuck, there's a couple kids up in northern Alberta. We should go look at them. And then Medicine
there's a couple booze bags up there that we should go.
That's kind of how it went down.
And this loophole and Upshall, they could both snap the pucker out. A fucking bit of booze bags, but good players.
So I got there. The team, Mike Moore, my GM, and Dean Evison at the time, they figured out how to make it work. And I started basically the first ever online high school program that I was doing out of Calgary. But I went in, I had my own instructor, like it'd be me and you, and I'd go in for an hour and a half a day.
Oh,
He'd be working and doing his thing. And then I would just be taking my classes with my books and writing an online test. And then, you know, I'd if I ever had questions, he'd be my tutor or whatever. And then I would fucking leave there. I'd go have lunch and I'd go to the rink at like, say, 1 o'clock.
Oh, that's genius, dude.
It was, yes.
And then you don't have to worry about skipping school like I was doing. I was skipping school, getting shit.
On a late road trip. And this is where, like, I think back and I'm like, I mean, Eric Christensen went to school, Lucan went to school, and I was like, I'm not going. I'm going to hang out with the old guys.
Yeah, the Western League is crazy for traveling to have.
Yeah, so I get back at 6 a.m, and these guys would be like having to go to their classes at like, say, they'd miss the morning, but they'd go at 11, and we'd all sleep in. And anyway, I think I hope now that it's kind of looked at and sorted out in junior hockey.
You got to think it is.
It has to be. There's got to be an efficient way, and it's not like, I don't know, maybe I'm talking and people are like, this privileged motherfucker. I don't know.
Whatever.
Right? But that was my path. It helped me get there. But in Kamloops, listen, we'd go to the movies, doobie time. I had a hot tub at my house. It was great. My billet mom.
Oh, you were the cool guy.
Selena cooked all the time. She's the best cook. She drink red wine.
Corey Sabrin, shout out to Sabs. He's a beauty. His billet's
I had the cool billet.
Yeah, his billets were awesome. Hot tub, we go over there.
That is a differentiator.
Yeah. This picture of you with this turtleneck on in the Kamloops is unbelievable. Is that just a team picture with the turtleneck on, or what? You look like Brento in this picture. I've never seen your hair this short ever.
No.
And then look, you got the Easton Sin Bomb with the Bauer gloves, and I wore that.
That was my style.
Good. You look good here. You look like same style I had. You had the shin pads out a little bit, which was a staple back then, right? You just show a little bit of the shin pad.
Yeah.
As a staple.
Oh, bottom.
You got the Bauer gloves with the Bauer bucket, and you got the silver sin bomb. It's nice. So you come to Kamloops as a walk-on.
Yeah.
I can't picture you. I always just picture you.
I went there, and
I picture you as you and Lupo as always first round. I'm like, fucking first rounders.
No.
But you walked, undrafted, signed, knew you were on the team? Or what?
Went at 16 for training camp. Went in for maybe 5 or 6 days. They were trying to convince me to stay without like a promise of like playing time and all that stuff. And Fort McMurray, who was hosting the Royal Bank Cup, my hometown,
Royal Baron,
were like, stay here. Don't leave us.
Okay.
Like, you're a hometown kid. We've got the Royal Bank Cup. You're going to play power play. You're going to play this. You're going to do this. And I wanted to stay. I had a girlfriend there at the time.
Were you in love? You were in love. It's okay. Anyway, we've all been there, but
I'd put that to rest.
Boy, you went a little different path after that, eh? What'd she do to you?
So I stayed. I got to win a championship. I played under 18s for World Juniors. Toots was not for World Juniors. We played under 18s in Czech Republic. Toots was our captain. And then.
So you didn't rush it?
I didn't rush.
So that's probably something for like kids nowadays to maybe realize like, oh, hey, I want to get in a hurry to get to the CHL. You know, I want to play for the Kamloops Blazers. I want to play for the Kingston Frontenacs. Is that the best for you all the time? No. Maybe fucking play in your hometown, win a championship, get to know all the old boys.
Totally.
Hey?
And how the old boys do it.
Let the girls in the hometown show you a few things, eh? After the game. Oh, geez.
I tell you what, I did.
That's nice. How'd you do that, babe? How'd you do that?
You grow up fast when you got 12, 20-year-olds on your team.
Oh, dude, I was 16 years old playing for my hometown team, the Port Hope Buzzards. And I'm hanging out with fuck all of them.
I know. It's
Ian LeBrash. I remember that beauty. All these guys, man. I'm hanging out with them. I'm getting drunk downtown Port Hope. You grew up quickly.
Yeah, we had on our hometown team, we had Colin Murphy, Travis Gladue, Rob Stoudemire. Those are probably 4 of us that were hometown kids that all played, and they were all 20, and they were great players, and our team was sick. Yeah,
you know where I grew up more than even junior hockey was I played baseball with, shout out to Gord Kelly, Chris Kelly, the Kellys. We were called the Northumberland Whiskey Jacks, and I was, probably 15 years old playing with these grown men that had played college ball that came back to play. Chad Stone, Skip, McBride, bunch of guys. And that's where I kind of really, like hanging out in the dugout really like showed me what it was like to be a guy's guy.
Dugout.
Yeah, the dugout, throwing shoes in with the boys.
What a name, though, for the spot to hang out during a game for Facebook.
The dugout.
Fucking right.
Let's get in the dugout, boys.
Huh?
Let's get in the dugout.
Do you think they still call it the dugout in the pros?
Oh, yeah, it's a dugout.
Dugout.
Yeah, dugout and then the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Have a couple beers in the clubhouse.
Oh, no one had a clubhouse growing up.
We had like a little makeshift clubhouse.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Was it like a trailer?
Well, the old Port Hope Flyers one that my uncle and dad played in and all the boys, it was a fucking wooden shack that was just getting eaten by termites. It was hanging on by a thread. And they tried to fix that up. And once we realized that, we turned in this, like, farther away from the park, we turned that into, like, a little clubhouse. That wasn't bad.
Was there anyone you grew up with that made pro in baseball? Or
There was a kid.
BC.
There was a kid from my hometown that was older than me, Jason Green, who I never played with. But Greener was a pitcher in the big leagues for the Houston Astros.
Wow.
And I think maybe the Florida Marlins a little bit. But, like, no, never anyone that made it to the big leagues. But we had good baseball. We had good baseball. Kawarthas, Peterborough, Oshawa. Good baseball around there. I loved playing ball, man. I loved it.
My buddy Dustin Sheaves is probably the best baseball player I knew. And he was a catcher, had sick style. Like, catchers always had the best style. His old man Ernie was a sick golfer. He used to win all the men's club championships, and he coached us.
Ernie.
He coached us in hockey and in baseball. He was the first one. I think I told you this, but, like, we showed up to baseball practice one day, and I'm only a first-year guy, but whatever, starting shortstop.
Yeah. Placed at the table.
Hit third in order, fucking...
Look at you.
But I struck out a few times late in the championship.
It's the only time you ever struck out in your life. It's the only ever time you struck out in your life.
But Ernie, we all came to practice one day, and he knew we were all teeing it up. We probably had a club championship, and all the guys were fucking golfing, and we can't hit a lick of baseballs.
Oh, it's bad for your swing.
Totally.
Bad for your
looked
swing.
at us, and you know, we got games coming up, and he had a fucking kind of a mean streak to him. He didn't want to piss Ernie off, but he'd be like, you fucking guys, you fucking golfing, you know?
Yeah.
You're not treating this serious. You guys, you want to just forfeit these matches on the weekend, or are you going to...
Don't want to piss Ernie off.
No, you didn't want to piss her.
That's like Bemzo, Dave Bemzo, who was a good friend of my dad, tough. My dad used to tell me stories of Bemzo would fucking throw guys over cars, and just, you shake Bemzo's hand, it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He's like, Buck, you're a good ball player. I was like, good ball player. Buck, you had 21 home runs in one year. He was good to me. Like, he would work with me if I was ever in a slump or whatever. I'm like, Bemzo, come, let's do some soft toss and figure out my swing, because I'm fucking playing too much golf, or I'm fucking around here. I love playing baseball. And shout out to Brian McBride. The Toronto Mets is his baseball club. He actually sent us some swag, or he's going to send us some swag. The Toronto Mets are called.
The 3/4. I thought there were those 3/4 zip baseball shirts.
Oh, the one with the white and then the different sleeve, or what?
White, different sleeve.
Yeah.
You wear your jersey over it, and it comes.
Oh, that's great.
Juice.
I used to wear those sometimes. Remember
the socks?
I wear...
You go long pants.
I go long pants.
Yeah, I was always a...
But I would hike him up too, depending on how I was doing.
Little Irishman.
I'd hike him up too.
Yeah.
I just remember those 3/4 baseball shirts from the movie Dazed and Confused. Benny, remember the guy at the truck? He'd wear those as like... So I started wearing those out too. I was like, oh, it's cool.
We all did.
Trying to be cool. I love baseball. Maybe we should play a Missin Curfew celebrity baseball game.
You know, for batting practice here.
I think the Angels big league this, man. I tried everything. I even told Jim Abbott. I said, Jimbo, I think I need you to call the Angels. I mean, Trout's out. Who cares? They probably don't care now. They probably let's do it. Fuck. I know. I tried. I got Jill calling them. I'll ask Abbott to get us.
I mean, I want to hit one over.
That'd be good content though that we could do in California. A Missin Curfew charity softball game. We could get some guys to fly in for that. That would be fun.
I like that.
That could be cool. Down on the beach somewhere, play a game, do some charity, get drunk.
I think you're onto something.
Okay, good. We'll talk after.
Well, let's get that done.
All right, let's go one more. I think we got time for one, maybe two more here, Kyle.
Fellas, Barry here from Barrie, Ontario. Love the show. Fucking go Leafs, go. Question for you, fellas. Lots of talk about Zach Hyman this year getting 50. If you both were on a line with McJesus, how many goals are you getting that season? How many goals are you getting? Let's go. Go Leafs, go.
If the Updogg played with 97 and Updogg was in his prime, I would say you would get at least 30.
At least.
I'd say more. I was going to say 40, but I didn't want to blow you on this podcast.
I got 20 twice.
Because the reason you would is because you were so good at going to the net and keeping your stick on the ice when you went to the net. Now, however, are we playing old rules or are we playing pussy NHL now? Because if it's old rules and you had to deal with guys like Hatcher in front of the net and stuff like that, Hyman wouldn't get 50 because he would have got abused. New rules, you can't touch one in front of the net.
I think Hyman
you
would
get
have
50.
25.
Yeah.
If
Hyman would not stand there.
No, he wouldn't stand there. No, you have a broken fucking arm and no back of your legs would be done.
I'm going to say Upshall in his prime in the new NHL with the new rules, he gets 56.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 56. It's 56.
I was watching, Connor and Leon do their thing in the playoffs, this past, playoffs, and I'm thinking, Ovechkin had Backstrom, right? Crosby didn't really have that like that super sniper with him, although they found ways to get Cooney got goals. Your boy that left Nashville and went over there scored a bunch of goals for them. Brandon Rust gets a bunch of goals now for them. What's his name that just went to Carolina? Anyway, Gunsel's big score. But no one like at Leon Draisaitl's scoring pace, right? So how many goals?
Remember what was the fucking Frenchie that played with Crosby? Pierre-Luc Dupuis or something? Remember that Frenchie?
Yeah, Mark Dupuis. Yeah, I do.
He scored a ton of goals for him too. But sorry, where are we going? I apologize.
No. We're talking about playing with Sid or playing with 97 and how many
you would have got 56, I'm going to say.
In a season. Okay, well, Leon Draisaitl has, in his career, 347 goals, okay? I would love to know how many of those goals were first assists, one-timer, fucking empty netters from Conor McDavid. Out of the 347, I would say at least 120 of them are.
I was going to say 300. I don't know. I mean, there's got to be a ton.
The way Conor makes everyone get mesmerized, and if you are a shooter and you know how to find the open lane, and Leon's done this a million times. Leon is an incredible player. 503 assists in his career. He's great. But out of the 347 goals, Conor's given him at least half as tap-in one-timers. So it's hard to say. I'd say you put any player with Conor McDavid in this era, they're scoring at least 25, 30, 40, 50. They're going to score.
Well, everyone but Jesse Puljujarvi. Puljujarvi was the only guy that could keep him off the score sheet.
9 lives.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to say I would love to see Conor McDavid in his prime have to play with the old rules against Chris Pronger in his prime. Old rules. How like that era of defenseman, 97, how would he do? Because say what you want about Crosby. Crosby had to play against guys like that. We're cross-checking him in the neck, cross-checking him in the head. 97's never had to deal with that at all. He's never even knows what it's like to get fucking cross-checked in front of the net. Or slashed or butt-ended. Like, I would like to see if he could have handled the abusement Chris Pronger would have.
Some of the videos of Sid taking hits in the playoffs are, you never see a video of that at Conor.
No.
Never.
No.
Right?
God, no.
McDavid or Crosby coming out, his teeth are missing and there's no call. And he's just like, what? They're like, you're fucking 21 years old.
Yeah. Suck it up.
Yeah. Like that was, in Philly, we would play against him and he would just be getting buried. And you'd almost feel bad for the kid.
Hatcher would just abuse him. Did you play with Mike Jason Smith? I love Jason Smith's game. Did you play with Mike Rathje or no?
No, yes, for like half.
But Jason Smith, who else did you have in that back end? Kimo Tiemann then played hard.
Coburn,
Jonesy?
Keith Jones.
No, Keith Jones.
Randy Jones.
He was kind of a pussy, but he's still a good player.
Randy Jones, we had...
But Jason Smith would have been, and Darian Hatcher would have been your two fucking...
Yeah.
Like, come to the net, you're going to get abused. And I listen, I love Conor McDavid. I think watching him he's so good for hockey. And if I got a chance between the Oilers game and another game, I'm watching the Oilers for him. Mm-hmm. But as next player, next demon, I wonder, like, could he got through that fucking hardness of back then of, like, getting abused? And ask Loops, and you too. Like, you guys stood in front of the net. You used to get abused, man. I used to, what they used to let me get away with as just an average NHL fan, I would get away with fucking at least that. Like, if I started going like that, they'd get me. But I would get that or that. Or that, like, I would get that's all. It's careful, your clothes.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fucking, see you later.
Totally.
And I knew where to get guys. And you have to, you heard John Cooper's comments after, when they lost out earlier in the spring to, the Florida Panthers about, in front of the net, how it's, it should be earned. And the goalie should be included. Like, I just think we're losing that battle in front of the net, man. And it just makes me sad because it was a man's game there. But to answer the question, Updogg gets 56.
Yeah.
Fucking right.
And I'm making 12 bananas a year. And then
and you're living in Chileno Bay.
We got our own studio, fucking just mixing it.
If you're making 12 bananas a year, what Discovery project would you buy? Would you build a banger? If you had a 8-year, $110 million deal, whatever.
Probably Chileno.
Or
some new one that we don't even know of yet. Just get in there early.
Discoveryland Columbia. Okay.
Cartagena.
Yeah, fucking let's go over to Updogg's got a place in Colombia, boys. Let's jump on the bird. Let's go.
Dubai.
Huh? I've never been. Isn't a lot of rules there or no? Is there rules there?
I think you get away with a lot if you know, like,
If you know the right chic over there.
if you roll with the right, by
True.
you're gonna need escorts and stuff like that. Not those escorts.
Well, you might need those too.
Yeah.
Everybody needs those too. All right, let's do one more call here at Missin Curfew. Kyle Morgan, what we got?
LJ here, unofficial Southern Ontario curfew correspondent, chiming in, ripping down the 401 right now. Just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on the transition guys are making. A lot of guys more going NCAA than CHL. Personally, not a big fan of it. They go in, you play 30 games a year, you get your own bidet. I'm hearing, CHL, North Bay, Sunday afternoon. Hottest chick there is the usher. She's 40. She's got a drinking problem. You earn your stripes.
I don't know. I look back. I think it's just everyone has no standards back then. I just wouldn't label it as like. I'd say the science nerds probably had no standards either.
You think it was more of just it's a fair game back then? Everybody's just burying everyone.
Everyone was, yeah.
Everyone's
burying everyone.
Or was that just us?
No, I think it's. I don't know. It's like the 60s.
I see what he's saying. He's saying that the college kids are they got the nice, you see some of the, arenas they play in, the rooms they have. They only play 2 games a week.
Grunge it up a little bit.
They don't have to grunge it up a little bit.
They didn't have to go to Medicine Hat or to, to Swift Current. Or
I do think that the CHL is still by far the best league to prepare you to play pro hockey. Because, especially a guy like you playing the Western League. We were talking about Kamloops earlier. For me, playing Ontario, we go up north to Sault Ste. Marie. He mentioned North Bay, Sudbury, or we have to go west. That's a, 5, 6, 7 hour trip. Other than that, it's 2 or 3 hours here or there. Then you get to the American League, it's like 10-hour bus trip, right? You're like, holy heck.
Yeah, no, one thing you learned in the dub was how to play, like, how to go on 2-week road trips. You had those. You went east. For us, we're the Western Conference division of the WHL. We would go out east twice. We'd go Red Deer, Calgary, Swift, back home. And then another time we'd go out, we'd do Portland, Tri-Cities, all the way up, and then hit Regina, Brandon. Fucking,
Regina.
Yeah. What was the other one?
Swifty?
No, there was Pirates.
Arter matey.
Prince Albert.
That's where PJ's from, right?
Yeah. No, PJ's is
Swifty.
But they had Prince Albert Raiders. Which was Phillips played.
Prince Albert Raiders.
But no, you just had all those, shitty farm towns, but they're all 3-4 hours away from each other.
That's crazy. I mean, when I started hanging out with Loops and Brookie and Kunitz and Joel Stapp and then you, like all these, I'm like, you guys would drive that far in the Western League. And it's fucking insane to me. It's insane that you would drive that far for a game. But I will say this is the one thing I'm jealous about, college guys, is that you're always part of that alumni.
Yeah.
Right? Like, let's say me and you went to, let's say, Notre Dame, right? We could always go back to Notre Dame, and you've always been an alumni part of that team. And I don't think, I played for 2 CHL teams. My one team's not even there anymore. I do support the Kingston Frontenacs to a certain degree. I'm never back there. I think, like, when you go to a college and you're part of that, you cheer for their football team. You cheer for their basketball team come March Madness. You cheer for their hockey team. It's like you're part of that alumni forever, and we don't have that in the CHL.
No, you get a little glimpse of it when you embed yourself in a community here, like us, like all our buddies are USC, right? So we'll kind of feel that. I dated a girl that was Penn State, so I got to, understand what that was like.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's one thing. Those guys have that forever. Now, not everyone goes to college here, so we're not exactly like, some guys might go to fucking NIT or whatever. They don't even have a football team. But,
yeah.
For the most part, Harvard. And I mean,
Princeton.
Our school is going to be what they are forever.
What school do you think you would have went to back in the day?
Well, I had a bunch of Florida.
Where'd you go? Where?
I had
you had full right.
I had Maine. I had Wisconsin. I had Minnesota.
Wow.
I had Michigan Tech.
Denver would have been great. You would have loved the University of Denver.
So I
didn't have one offer to anything.
Yeah. Well, that was the West.
Is there more people?
Like again, when I was playing Royal Bank Cup and I hadn't given away that WHL.
You still had
I got my eligibility. Those teams were coming up trying to convince me before training camp that I should come to college, but I had to wait another year, 2 years.
Morgan, Kyle, thank you to the listeners. Keep the curfew calls coming. We love doing them. They're great off-season content for us. That was a curfew call.
Fellas.